Listen carefully. This message is not for everyone. Many people will hear these words, but only a few will truly understand them. Only a few will feel something stirring deep inside their spirit. Only a few will recognize that this is not a coincidence. And if you are still here, if something inside you refused to scroll away, if your heart suddenly became heavy, then this message may be for you, because God is speaking, not by accident, not by chance, not because the algorithm brought you here, but because heaven has been trying to get your attention. Hear this clearly. The battle around your life has never been normal. The attacks you faced were never random. The betrayals, the heartbreaks, the disappointments, the loneliness, the rejection, the nights you cried when nobody knew, the prayers you whispered when nobody could hear, the moments you questioned everything, even the moments you questioned God. None of it happened without purpose, because there is a reason the enemy fought you so hard. There is a reason people turned against you. There is a reason doors kept closing. There is a reason you have always felt different. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to follow the crowd. You were never created for ordinary things. You are one of God's chosen. And right now, something is shifting. Something is changing. A spiritual movement is taking place behind the scenes. While the world continues sleeping, God is preparing your promotion. While others underestimate you, God is preparing your elevation. While people laugh, God is writing a story they will never be able to explain. Because the power God is placing upon your life is unlike anything people around you have ever witnessed. This is not pride. This is purpose. This is not ego. This is destiny. And before this power arrives, God wants you to understand something. Your pain was never punishment. It was preparation. Your tears were never wasted. They were seeds. Your isolation was never abandonment. It was training. Your silence was never God's absence. It was God's classroom. And now, the lesson is almost complete. The breakthrough is closer than you think. The reward is bigger than you imagine. The transformation has already begun. Listen carefully. There are seasons when God reveals, and there are seasons when God hides. Most people celebrate the revealing. Very few understand the hiding. But the chosen understand something others do not. God often hides his greatest warriors before he reveals them. Think about it. The seed grows underground before anyone sees it. The treasure remains buried before it is discovered. The diamond forms under pressure before it shines, and in the same way, God hid you, not because you lacked value, but because your value was too great. Hear this clearly. Some people thought you were forgotten. Some people thought you were weak. Some people thought your life would never become anything special. But what they called delay, God called development. What they called isolation, God called preparation. What they called failure, God called training. And while nobody was watching, God was building something inside you. Strength, wisdom, discernment, faith, endurance, spiritual authority. The kind of power that cannot be purchased. The kind of power that only comes through suffering. Listen carefully. Many people want the crown. Few want the process. Many people want the blessing. Few want the breaking. Many people want the miracle. Few want the wilderness. But the wilderness is where God creates warriors. The wilderness is where faith becomes real. The wilderness is where weak people become strong. Maybe that is where you are right now. Maybe you feel forgotten. Maybe you feel invisible. Maybe you wonder why life seems harder for you than for everyone else. Maybe you keep asking God why. Why the betrayal? Why the rejection? Why the waiting? Why the silence? Why the loneliness? But hear this clearly. Your answer is coming, because the same God who hid Joseph in a prison eventually placed him in a palace. The same God who trained David in lonely fields eventually placed him on a throne. The same God who prepared Moses in the wilderness eventually used him to change history. And the same God who prepared them is preparing you. God is saying, I did not hide you to destroy you. I hid you to protect you. I hid you because your assignment was too important. I hid you because your enemies could not handle what I placed inside you. I hid you because your season had not yet arrived. Listen carefully. Not everyone who left your life was a loss. Some people were removed because they could not go where God is taking you. Some people disappeared because they belonged to your old season. Some people betrayed you because God was exposing hidden intentions. Some people rejected you because heaven was redirecting your path. It hurt. Of course it hurt. You loved them. You trusted them. You believed in them. But God saw what you could not see. And because He loves you, He removed them before they could damage your destiny. Hear this clearly. God is removing fake people before He releases real blessings. God is closing wrong doors before He opens right ones. God is ending certain chapters because a greater story is beginning. And this is why your spirit has felt restless lately. This is why old things no longer satisfy you. This is why certain conversations feel empty. This is why your soul keeps craving something deeper, because transformation has already started. The old version of you is dying. The new version is emerging, the stronger version. The wiser version, the healed version, the fearless version, the version God always intended you to become. Listen carefully. There is something most people never understand. They see the blessing, but they never see the breaking. They see the victory, but they never see the battle. They see the light, but they never see the darkness that came before it. That is why people misunderstand the chosen, because when God chooses someone for a special assignment, He does not simply hand them power. He prepares them for it. He shapes them for it. He breaks everything that would be damaged by it. Hear this clearly. The version of you from years ago could not carry the calling that rests upon your life today. You had to grow. You had to mature. You had to learn. You had to suffer. You had to discover who God truly is when everything around you seemed to be falling apart. There were moments when you thought your story was ending. Moments when your heart felt shattered. Moments when you felt abandoned. Moments when you prayed and heard nothing. Moments when you waited and saw nothing. Moments when you stood completely alone, no answers, no signs, no explanation, only silence, painful silence. But hear this clearly, the silence was not empty. God was working. The silence was not abandonment. God was building. The silence was not rejection. God was preparing. While you were crying, God was arranging. While you were doubting, God was positioning. While you were struggling, God was strengthening. Listen carefully. Some of the hardest seasons of your life were actually the most important, because those seasons exposed what was real. When everything was taken away, you discovered what remained. When people left, you discovered who truly cared. When doors closed, you discovered where God was leading. When comfort disappeared, you discovered the strength that had been hidden inside you all along. That strength did not come from the world, it came from God. The world could not give it, and the world cannot take it away. Hear this clearly. The enemy thought the pressure would destroy you. Instead, it revealed you. The enemy thought the heartbreak would finish you. Instead, it refined you. The enemy thought the loneliness would weaken you. Instead, it taught you how to depend on God. The enemy thought the waiting would discourage you. Instead, it increased your faith. Everything that was sent to break you became part of your testimony. Everything that was sent to stop you became part of your preparation. Everything that was meant for harm became fuel for your future. God is saying, they thought it would end you, but I used it to build you. They thought you would quit, but I gave you endurance. They thought you would collapse, but I strengthened your foundation. Listen carefully. You are entering a season where things will begin to make sense. Not all at once, but piece by piece, little by little. God will start connecting the dots. You will begin seeing why certain relationships ended, why certain opportunities disappeared, why certain plans failed, why certain prayers were delayed. Because sometimes God's greatest mercy looks like rejection. Sometimes God's greatest protection looks like disappointment. Sometimes God's greatest blessing looks like a closed door, and the chosen learn to trust Him anyway, even when they do not understand, even when the path is unclear, even when the future feels uncertain, because faith is not believing after you see. Faith is believing before you see. Faith is walking when there is no map. Faith is trusting when there is no proof. Faith is holding on when every voice around you says, let go. Hear this clearly. Every prayer you prayed in secret, God heard it. Every tear you cried alone, God saw it. Every night you fought battles nobody knew about, God recorded it. Nothing escaped His attention. Nothing was ignored. Nothing was forgotten. There are blessings moving toward you that were born from prayers you thought had been unanswered. There are doors opening that were prepared years ago. There are opportunities forming that you cannot yet see. There are miracles already moving in your direction because timing matters. Divine timing matters. God is never early. God is never late. God is always right on time. The chosen often mistake preparation for delay. But preparation is not delay. Preparation is mercy. Because if God gave you everything too soon, it might have crushed you. If He opened every door immediately, you might have walked through unprepared. If He released every blessing instantly, you might not have had the wisdom to protect it. So He waited, and while He waited, He transformed you. Listen carefully. Before Joseph ruled, he was tested. Before David wore a crown, he faced giants. Before Esther saved a nation, she endured preparation. Before Jesus began His ministry, He spent time in the wilderness. The pattern is always the same: preparation, testing, transformation, then elevation. And that pattern is unfolding in your life right now. You are not behind. You are being prepared. You are not forgotten. You are being positioned. You are not abandoned. You are being refined. Hear this clearly. Some people cannot go where God is taking you. Do not chase them. Do not beg them. Do not force connections that heaven is removing, because God is separating you from people who would interfere with your assignment. This hurts, sometimes deeply, but it is necessary, because every great destiny requires separation. Every great calling requires sacrifice. Every great purpose requires surrender. And God knows exactly what must leave your life before the next chapter can begin. Listen carefully. There are signs all around you. Subtle signs, spiritual signs, unexpected confirmations, a scripture appearing at the perfect time, a message arriving exactly when you needed it, a door opening that should have been closed, a feeling deep in your spirit that something is changing. These moments are not random. God is communicating. God is reminding you. God is reassuring you. God is saying, I am still here. I am still leading. I am still working. I have not forgotten you. Listen carefully. Not everyone will celebrate what God is doing in your life. Some people only liked you when you were struggling. Some people only felt comfortable when you were small. Some people only supported you when they thought you would never rise. But God is saying, do not fear their opinions. Do not fear their jealousy. Do not fear their criticism. What I have spoken over your life cannot be stopped by human hands. Because when God opens a door, no enemy can close it. When God promotes a person, no opposition can prevent it. When God blesses a life, no darkness can reverse it. Hear this clearly. You are stronger than you realize. You are closer than you think. You are more prepared than you know. Your survival has purpose. Your story has purpose. Your scars have purpose. Your battles have purpose. Your calling has purpose. Nothing happened without meaning. Nothing happened without purpose. Nothing happened outside God's awareness. One day you will look back at this season. You will remember the tears. You will remember the loneliness. You will remember the uncertainty. You will remember the waiting. And you will see God's hand in every chapter. You will see His fingerprints on every page. You will see His protection in every closed door. You will see His wisdom in every delay. You will see His mercy in every disappointment. And you will realize that He was carrying you the entire time, even when you could not feel Him, even when you could not hear Him, even when you could not understand Him. He never left. Not once, not for a moment, not for a second, because that is what God does for His chosen. He stays, He guides, He protects, He prepares, He transforms. And then, at exactly the right moment, He reveals. Listen carefully. The pain was real, the betrayal was real, the heartbreak was real, the loneliness was real. But none of it was greater than God's plan for your life. None of it was stronger than God's purpose. None of it was bigger than God's promise. You may have walked through valleys. You may have faced storms. You may have carried burdens nobody understood. But you are still here, still standing, still believing, still moving forward. And that alone is proof that God has been with you. The battle did not defeat you. The darkness did not consume you. The pressure did not destroy you. Because heaven was protecting you. God was preparing you. And now, a new chapter is beginning, a chapter of greater faith, greater strength, greater wisdom, greater purpose, greater impact. The power God is placing upon your life is not the power of pride. It is the power of endurance, the power of faith, the power of obedience, the power of spiritual authority, the power that comes from surviving what should have broken you. So hold on, trust Him, keep praying, keep believing, keep walking forward, even when you cannot see the entire path, because God's timing is perfect, His promises are true, and His plans for your life are